And we're going to do it on. Did we ever figure out if our hypnotherapist was recorded?
Yes, that one was recorded
Okay.
and added to YouTube. Yep.
YouTube? Oh, okay, I missed it the other day. Okay, guys, I knew you said it was coming up. Okay, cool. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good
Hello?
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
George.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, George. He's having his coffee.
Good morning.
Hey, guys, how many of you the first time on the Wednesday call with me? Any guests? That's your first time? Just speak up, just say hello. Okay, James.
right.
Hey, James, welcome. Anybody else? Okay, we definitely on Wednesdays, I'm a giver, I'm a helper. And a lot of times I just love pouring out because I'm so full. So, I was the last of 6 children in my family. I never got a word in edgewise. So I speak at about 300 miles per hour with gusts up to 800. I don't want you to try to pay attention to what I share with you every Wednesday as much as I want you to pay attention to your reaction. And then say, what was that emotion? What was that feeling? What was that desire I have for that goal that he's talking about? Today, I'm going to share with you a technique that I've used to change a whole lot of real estate practices, including my own. But in front of it, I need to build the foundation. So I'm going to share my screen. And one of the things I'm going to do is, I had a conversation that the slides sometimes are so much on them. They're really only talking points for me. You don't just get what you're really feeling at the time and what you're going to do about it is more important than what I say and a quote and all that kind of stuff. It's more important what's going on the inside. I have the channel Inside Out Agent on YouTube. That's what it's all about. What is going on in the inside? So let me share my screen. So today I want to focus on building your successful real estate practice. And you've got to have techniques and you've got to have the systems and you spend time on YouTube, there's thousands of them. But I want to narrow this down with this thing called a SMOST approach, which stands for situation, analyzes your situation. What is really my mission in life? What are my objectives? To tangible objectives. A lot of times, we've done this test before. What do you really look for life? What are your dreams? What are your dreams? And I say peace of mind never comes up. Love never comes up. A sense of well-being, in love with myself. None of that always comes up. It's always things that are outside of us, right? So this SMOST, you always want to analyze your situation, and you've got to have a technique for that. Very, very important. You've got to have a mission because, the big why that everyone talks about. You've got to have certain objectives because if there's no reward at the end of it, it's not going to do anything for you. But then you have to have a strategy to carry it out. And no strategies ever get carried out without tactics. And so that's what SMOST is all about. I'm going to talk about the top 7 priorities to grow a profitable real estate practice. So let me go into that right now. And I want to talk about, first before I go into those, there is one secret that is so important to always remember when you're trying to build a real estate practice or any practice as far as that's concerned. I've been involved with a lot of these chiropractors now because of this big, weekend 3-day personal development thing I did with a bunch of chiropractors who are building up chiropractic practices. So what is the one secret to success? The magic wand. What is the magic wand? Let's talk about that for a second. I want to see your faces as we talk about that. And just put in the chat box. What do you think is a magic wand that you need to keep in mind? That's secret. What is it? Put it in the chat box. Let's see what we got going here. What persistence? Definitely a big one. Belief. Amen. Consistency. Absolutely. What else? What else? Massive action. Tony Robbins. Absolutely. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. The follow motivation, integrity, all correct, but that's still not the magic wand. Mindset. Mindset is absolutely where most of it starts. Work 10x harder, working harder. Okay, listen, I brought, seriously, for those of you who have your camera on, I hope that you have this, because this is my magic real estate wand, okay? Now, I want you to come closer and just touch it, because this is, if you touch this, I don't know, can you see the blinking lights in the magic wand? See that? You see this fits right on the brain. And what you need to come and visit me, and I'll put this on top of your head. And when I give you these flashing lights, you'll never, ever fail again in your life. I promise you. So make a visit for me. I'm going to put this on top of your head. I'll turn it on, and those lights are going to go through your brain. It's going to run down into your heart, and you'll have the magic wand you need to be successful. Anybody going to come and visit me for it? Kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't that ridiculous? But I use this and I keep this as an example of what is the really one secret. What is that magic wand to be successful, especially in a real estate practice, to build a real estate practice? And when I say it, when I give it to you, you're going to go, are you serious? Well, I'm as serious as I was about that magic wand there. The number one thing I want to plant in your brain, if you don't remember anything else from the day, it's this. There's only one magic wand in this business, and that is there's no magic wands. There's no magic formula. There's no magic seminar. There's no magic person. How many of us have married someone thinking that was going to solve our life, or dated a certain person thinking that was going to, all this stuff from the outside? There is no magic. I want to really emphasize that, because so many of us waste not days, not weeks, not years, not months, but multiple years. We waste decades looking for a magic wand. I've seen people in my 45 years of doing this, they're in the business, they're out of the business. They have one excuse, they have another excuse, because they've been looking for the magic wand and they could never find it. So I'm not playing on words. I'm not being facetious. I want to plant that deep in your brain, because that's the number one thing that you need to remember. And as long as you remember that, you're always going to be forced to go inside, and then you'll apply these techniques that I want to teach you on the SMOST approach. And what I started doing this meeting, and Tiffany will also share the PDF as well. That PDF, for those of you who are first time on the call, is accumulation of the last 2 years since we started this. It started with the spiritual side of success, and then it went into Soulful Wednesdays, and then we call it midweek mindset, body and mindset. Yeah, the midweek. So I started putting these in Google Docs as well. So I wanted you to have the slide, I wanted you to have the PDF, I wanted you to have the PowerPoint, because this is a culmination of 45 years of the things that have impacted my life. So you're going to be getting that when you download that slide deck. And then also Tiffany will share this link that goes right to the folder. So let's go here right now and let's get going on these. Now I am going to really on the 7 priorities, because I want to spend the majority of our time on the SMOST approach. But these 7 priorities that kind of clear the air, that are going to be in these documents that you're going to get. The top 7 priorities. You've got to stop practicing. We'll start on our database, and we're going to try and practice. You can't try anything. I want you to do me a favor. If you were in my office and I went like this and I said, do me a favor, try to take that pen out of my hand. Go ahead, try it. Try it. Go ahead, try it. And you'll see how ridiculous it is. You go to get it, and a lot of times people will look at me and they'll grab it, right? I go, you didn't try it, you took it. So try to take the pen out of my hand. And so we've got to quit trying. You've got to give up on trying. As soon as you use that word, I want you to realize that it is a destructive word, the word try. Don't use it with your children. Don't use it with people that you really like. You can't try anything. Either you do it or don't do it. Because if you want to try something, don't even attempt it. Just make a plan and set it. You've got to have that mentality. And what the mentality is you've got to realize you're in a real estate practice. You have a practice, and we've got to treat it as such, like our customer base is your gold mine. And everyone wants lead generation. I tell people, do you want me to give you fish? And I'll give you so many I'll give you so many leads, they'll sit around and rot and they start stinking and you won't like it. You'll be on a treadmill doing, 10 deals, 12 deals, 15 deals, 20 deals a year maybe. But if you pay attention, you really have that real estate practice mentality and you take care of the most important part of a real estate practice, and that is your customer database, just like a doctor's office, just like a dentist, just like a vet, then you will have a gold mine. You have a gold mine. We have every calls, all these calls, we talk about it every day. I just did a little study. Watch this. Vets, more than 200,000 for in-state students, 275 for out-of-state students or education. For an average price of $1 million, you'll be able to start a small animal clinic. At $250 cost, you can start a mobile veterinarian clinic. Income potential. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? And what the investment dentists, more than $300,000 in their education. Let me ask you a question. Someone shout out, what did you pay for your real estate course?
$500, if that.
500.
I was going to say 3 something.
Guys, I want to create such a mindset that you are so blessed to have gone into the real estate business. But if you just treat it as, quote, a sales thing and not a practice, because I have agents that have 10x this. I have the second highest income earner in the United States that I've been involved in his career. Because what a business. And when you look at this, with a dental practice, by the way, second highest profession with suicide rate. The second highest. Real estate agents are number 6, I think it was. The average net income for a dentist, $170,000. If this don't get us into that mindset, oh my gosh, he's right, I have a real estate practice, but what am I going to do with it? These principles are so important. The second, what is the first principle? Jot that down. A real estate practice mentality. I have a real estate practice with unlimited potential. Unlimited potential. And I don't need to show up 7:30 in the morning digging in people's mouths or having dogs bite me or having a dog go to the bathroom onto my table, all the other stuff. So the second thing, unrelentless commitment to self first. For many years, I was a big fan of Dr. Reverend Schuller, Crystal Cathedral, California. Matter of fact, my burial plot's there with my big beautiful headstone that says, that because Dennis Waitley used to teach, you don't know what you want in life until you've already written your headstone and placed it. I took it literally. He used to have a thing, a big poster. I had it in my office. You walked in my office, I am third, it said. I am third. God first, others second, me third. That is a bad belief. It's self first, because you are co-creators with the creator himself, and you got to sit next to him, not under him. He has raised you to that level. You hear me quote that Psalm, that old Jewish scripture. What is man? You are mindful of him. You've made him just a little lower than the angels. You got to put yourself first, but you've got to realize you're right next to your creator, because that's what you're here for, is to co-create. Co-create. You can't be third and co-create. I was third and I co-created a $35 million business with 5 different states because I was third. That empire fell because I was third and not first, realizing I was right there with the one who had given me all the stuff. But all that served its purpose. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. The second unrelentless commitment has got to be self-development. You must conquer self to conquer anything else. You have to conquer yourself before you conquer a relationship. You have to conquer yourself before you conquer business. Jim Rohn, work harder on yourself than you do your business, and your business will take care of itself. You've got to be relentless about that. If you're not doing 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of YouTube and new people in your life, people sharing their knowledge with you, books and all that, your personal development. I cannot believe still to this date, I've talked about this for 2 years. The average agent in America makes $46,000. The average CRS, certified residential specialist, earns 111,000 now. I have had only one person that I know of. Now, please, if you email me, by the way, so I don't get lost because my emails are overwhelming, in the subject matter, put Smokes. My email is up here. It's all over these documents. Answers@defalco.com. Just put subject line Smokes because I keep those. They encourage me. If you're involved in the CRs, please let me know that because I'm going to have you as a guest on one of the meetings. So why is it so few take the certified residential specialist? You've got to be committed to professional development. A dentist goes to school. Now, that $300,000, when you think about it, that's not the big cost. All those years they were in school, they could have been employed, so they're not making any money from the employment. So us, oh my gosh, we don't invest in a $500 course. I'm going to go into resources in a second. And then you got to make a decision. Are you going to be a specialist? My second highest incomer in the United States decided he was going to be a specialist in one community that turned out to be a multi-gazillion dollar community eventually. And because of what we did as his foundation, he stayed right there. He doesn't do anything else. But there's other people, like myself, I wanted to know every part of the industry, or as much as I could know. Everything from industrial and land and commercial and buildings, a licensed auctioneer. I wanted to be an auctioneer. I wanted an auction business. That's just the way I wanted to go. But you've got to have one or the other. You just can't be a wandering generality. You can't be a generalist and just be wandering around. You've got to make sure you're a generalist, and you better get all the personal development. If you have I like that, Benny Harris, one-trick pony. You could be a one-trick pony. David Roberts is. But you've got to make sure that you're watching YouTube, how to be the very best informant. We had the guest on yesterday. What a great thing. 1,100 homes, 1,200 homes in community. What she's doing, new agent. She committed to that. That's professional development. Now, did she do professional development the way she should have? No, the books say she should be a computer database. She has books. She has the old-fashioned way, but it works for her. That's still personal development. Professional development. So that's what we don't get. We think there's a magic wand, and I got to look at all. You got to commit to your professional development. You have a practice. You have to treat it with respect. The next thing is business development versus sales production. Yes, you're a salesperson, but that's not your calling. Your calling is to build a real estate practice. Those who sell, I have people that hesitate coming aboard because they're so consumed with the urgent, and they do so little, but yet when they finally make the break, they move forward. Krista Kohler, are you on the call? Krista Kohler. Okay, she's not on the call. Krista, for example, Douglas Elliman, concerned about the luxury brand, doing really well. Multi-millions dollars worth of production. She saw the EXP thing with me. She hesitated, worried and concerned. Okay, and then because she was so busy with her sales production, that was all about sales production. Give me another trophy. Give me another plaque. I'm the number one in the. But I convinced her she wanted to build a real estate practice. Her first year just finished up in April this year, $130,000 different in income, $9,000 worth of stock. She has, I don't know, in her organization now, 10, 11 people. The difference, she switched from that sales production mentality to a business development mentality.
Sorry,
You
Fred,
gotta-
I couldn't mute myself fast
Oh,
enough.
there you go. Trista, did I quote the numbers right? 100 and how much was it difference in the first year?
Well, I doubled my production, and I saved about $80,000 in commissions had I paid it to Douglas Elliman.
Now, let me just say something. Give that credit to EXP. I can't, because there's people that come with EXP and they don't do anything. They wind up quitting. What happened? The difference was the mentality. Am I on target a little bit with that, Kristen?
Absolutely, absolutely.
This idea she became a business person. She no longer was a salesperson among all these other people competing for trophies and plaques and prestige. And the name, she realized she's the brand. Folks, that's the thing. You're the brand. We got to be well equipped, be ready, armed and dangerous. What do you need to be armed with? Oh, you've got to buy a $300,000 machine so you can do x-rays of your patient, of your real estate customers when you walk in. Oh, hello? No, you just need to buy car magnets. Check. What else you need? Oh, you need business cards. Oh, okay, that's really expensive. But check. You need to have open house signs. I had someone call me in a panic on Saturday. Fred, I got my first open house, and they want to have an open house. I don't have any open house signs. You know anybody? 6 months with us. If they were local, in my local area, I would have went there and I would have choked them. Not for me, for them, their family. You know, we got to come on, guys. Our databases. We got to be well equipped. You know, and there's very basic things you need in the real estate business. Liz, where is Liz? You know, fairly new agent. She's with us since October. She's killing it. She retired her husband when she got $50,000 in the bank since October. Liz, tell us some of the things you're equipped with. You're armed and dangerous with. Do you have a listing kit? Do you have a listing kit?
Yes. Yep.
Do you have car magnets?
Yep.
Do you have still open house signs?
Right here.
Do you have honey look boards?
Absolutely. They're right here.
Look how readily available. Look at this. Look. So this is what I'm talking about. And then we think, well, Liz, look at that personality she has. She's so lucky. She's got it. I don't. BS, guys. She has that business mentality. Follow her social media. What else do you have, Liz? What else do you have? Just throw another thing out.
I have my listing presentations ready with me at all times. Business cards go everywhere. When I'm at the gas station, guys, I put my business card in the credit card thing. It's super, super cheesy, but somebody has to pull it out in order for them to get my business card. So if they toss it, they toss it. If they keep it, even better.
And I know, see, here's the problem that we have and why we don't quickly scale our businesses so quickly in 10x them, 100x them, is because that's very difficult stuff, man. Putting your business cards out on the gas station. That's very difficult stuff, putting your car magnets on your sign. That's very difficult stuff, and having to design an open house sign and get them. It's very difficult to have an open house. Folks, try doing tooth extractions. Try to do, why you think, it's crazy when you think about how blessed we are to have been chosen for this practice. Knowing and practicing your real estate business, it's the information business. That's what you're in. The daily habit that will change your career, will change your trajectory of your career is one daily habit. And that is, if you go one day without checking an MLS, it's called Hot Sheets. You need to sign up for Hot Sheets, where you take a 2-mile radius around your house, or if you have a certain farm area, you do a 1-mile radius, whatever it is you want to do, half-mile radius. And every morning you wake up, what's new on the market, what's sold, what's pending, what expired, what withdrawn, because it will automatically remind you how beautiful this business is. Every day things are selling. Every day people are listing real estate. The market is not bad, good or bad out there. It's good or bad in here. That one daily habit of getting a daily hot sheet, and you pull it off like a stock ticker symbol and check it every morning, then you're going to be motivated maybe to stop by some that expired. Let me move forward because I got to get to the SMOST approach. Think. That is, folks, we don't think. I get some of the craziest text messages sometimes. Fred, what is, and I don't want to say it because if you're on the call, it's not a criticism. It's an encouragement to step up. So many things you can leverage. You know, what is an escalation clause? You'd have tons of information. What is a good way to calculate a mortgage? You'll have 1 billion results of mortgage calculators. What's the best way to blah, 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 blah. So you got to leverage, think outside the box. Also, you got to leverage your business. For example, you got to think outside of the box. You're in a real estate business and you've got this great team. You are not just a residential agent. You're everything. Christelle, were you on the call? Christelle, were you on the call? Christelle, with us just a month or 2 months, not even.
Yes, I'm on the call, Fred. Sorry.
There you go. No, Chris. Christelle, were you there? Hey, Christelle, no, because she's not here. Came from RE/MAX with us just for, I think, a few weeks. I had this talk with her because when I met her, I said, you need to think about commercial. Bingo. She got a triple net lease, a Dollar General store, $1,750,000, and is now closing. But the problem was she was in Tallahassee, and this was in Tennessee. So I said, Chris, that's not a problem. This is with our brokerage. We're one brokerage. Let me call someone and ask them if they want to pick up $2,500 to use their license. So we leveraged our system and we gave someone else an opportunity. Deborah, are you on the call? Deborah, are you on the call in Tennessee?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So we called you. You said, I said, how would you like to make $2,500? What did you say?
I said, sure.
Of course. So they worked together. Did you learn something from that transaction? Did you learn something from that transaction? Just seeing the deal and everything?
I did. It was interesting. Got to learn
Yeah.
a lot.
Yep. I had another agent here in our local area. She was going to go to Orlando and take a listing. And she said, Fred, I'll just join the MLS. It's just a $550, blah, 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 blah. I said, why would you do that? Reverse it. I don't want a referral fee. I said, what if I reversed it for you? It's a listing. Leverage it. Tell the agent, find an agent that needs to market their area. Find an agent that would love to have a listing to show people they've got a listing, that want to have an open house. And she switched it. She asked for a 70% referral fee and gave a 30% referral fee. It benefited that agent, benefited her. So leverage, think outside your box. You're in a business, leverage your business. Resources, human and otherwise. LinkedIn. Folks, you've got to be present on LinkedIn. You've got to be a master at LinkedIn. The agents especially the people with business mentalities, and I did an entire interview that I've sent out to all of Tony and I's, we have 430, whatever it is. When I look at the records of the EXP agents that have taken this webinar from Ron, this LinkedIn specialist, right there on there, he dissects some LinkedIn profiles. I would hire Ron. I gave him $325 to go back and do my LinkedIn. I thought I had a great LinkedIn. I pay a virtual assistant for that. She's pretty good. She's on the call with us now. We thought we were good. Annabelle, if you want to just speak up. I mean, when Ron got a hold of us, we were embarrassed. And here's a free webinar, but it takes you 47 minutes. Here's Mind Body Mastermind on Facebook. Join that. That's my Mind Body Mastermind. That's going to keep heating up. We're going to get more and more. I'm going to start doing more in there. Agent Growth Institute. We have people on here that Coach Curtis and Coach Debbie, they're doing this thing called Grit, 100 and whatever it is for 6 weeks, intense, getting 100,000 in your pipeline in the next 6 weeks. When I asked them what the attendance was, I said, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Why? You pour out your heart to us. Danielle, thank you. I signed up for Grit. Sign up for Grit, these resources. Mini Course for Life on Facebook. If you're not in the mini course, my mini course, not mine, the Attitudinal Healing International mini course, 18 lessons that will change your life if you repeat them three times in a row. 21 days, they say it takes a change of habit. That's false. 21 days to become aware you need a change of habit. You've got to repeat that 21 days 3 times, then you'll have the habit. Please, the mini course for life. Tom Martin coaching. When I find out how many of our people signed up for his paid coaching, I'm astounded. Every Wednesday at noon, I've now kicked this off for my group. And you're invited. If you want to invite people to it, you just got to let me know. I would sign up and then I would just send them the link so we don't get confused in case they like somebody on the call. So keep control of your people. But this is for EXP agents. But this is not an EXP. This is the real estate industry, how to build a successful real estate practice, taking advantage of the revolutions. Our first one's the day at noon. And I guarantee you, any agent outside of our brokerage, EXP, if they love where they are and they're going to stay there, they're going to walk away with a raise. Because I'm teaching them today how to get a raise by using what's going on in the real estate revolution. It's going to be astounding. If you have some people that you'd like to share, some fellow co-brokers, feel free to join me. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is your 7th one. You've got to master these. Steve Covey, the old book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So you have these, we could take a lot more time, but we got to get to the SMOST approach. I did this SMOST approach. I kept it all these years because I've given it to my team over and over and over again. And I've gotten away from it since I've been with EXP. Well, it's coming back. It's a 7-hour commitment to make a plan for your life that will radically change your life for the rest of your life. I promise you. If you don't know where you want to go in the next 3 years, you'll find yourself at a place that you did not plan or ever wanted to be. How many of you can say truthfully from deep in your heart, you are exactly where you wanted to be 3 years ago? Not many of us, 1% of us on this call. I'm not. I know I'm not, way far from it. Fail to plan is a plan to fail. Someone said, if you don't have your own goal set, you will live by everyone else's goals. Amen. This is to be used as a sample of the flow to be creative and dream, dream, dream. Life is all about dreaming. It's pictures first. Dream your life in a picture. Close your eyes. Don't use any numbers. Don't use any words. Draw pictures of what your life looks like 3 years from today, your future self. Draw it first. Then you're going to come back and make this plan to make it happen. Keep in mind the question, if time, money, and circumstances were not an issue, I would. Finish that statement when you get this document. If time, money, and circumstances were not an issue. And folks, time, money, and circumstances are never an issue. That's BS. That's a belief system that's wrong. Goal setting is seeing your life in advance. It is writing the script for your life movie. God is giving you the authorship privilege. Dream. Remember, time, money, and circumstances never an issue. You can always adjust your time and commitments because you can't control the clock, but you can control commitments. Circumstances are never an issue. They always change when we do. Our circumstances change when we change. Perceptions become realities. We don't see the things the way they are. We see them as we are. That should have been a them. We see them as we are. Your circumstances right now is not reality. It's an illusion. It's the way you're seeing them. Money. If you don't have any money, like there's big statistics we shared, and it's going to be in this PowerPoint. Read those statistics, why I'm so radical about people's lives, because the American dream is BS. Very few people have it. Money will always flow in the direction of people who know where they're going and how they will get there. The mind will take you in the direction you have instructed it. The mind cannot work on the reverse of an idea. When you use the words won't, don't, no, never, or why is another one. There's a lot of words you can use, but the word try is the killer. Observation, imitation, repetition. George, what's your famous quote? Are you still on, George? The famous quote, time over
task. Time on task over time.
Time on task over time, same thing. Observation, imitation, repetition. This is the way. Now, keep in mind, Dr. Bruce Lipton, jot that down. I should have had his name here just to remind you, but it's in all my documents, in all the PowerPoint. Dr. Bruce Lipton has proven scientifically that we reverse disease. It's not about genetics. It's about our thinking. Ulcers do not come from what we eat. It comes from what we allow to eat us. He has proven that we all only have repeated our first 7 years of our childhood over and over and over again, even if you're doing well financially a lot of times, because you're not as happy as you want to be. You're not as satisfied. You wonder why depression comes, because you keep repeating those first 7 years. What we've learned from mother, fathers, teachers, and preachers. Remember our guest 2 or 3 weeks ago, mother, fathers, teachers, and preachers, belief system, BS. So you've got to change that. So if I'm 68, right, divided by 7, so I've been repeating this thing for almost 10 years. Fortunately, it changed for me 6 years ago. And I got off of that because I learned what that circle of belief was all about. Habit can be your greatest friend or your greatest foe, pick you up or drag you down. It can make you famous or make you a failure. Habit does not care. It is neutral. How many of you realize that? Habit is neutral. I stop and I talk to many homeless people and people that are, homeless for many years. I love talking to them. They are deep people a lot of times, but their habits took them into a place that is not, I would not want to be in that place. This plan was done. This one I'm giving you right now. This plan was done for an example, Fred's group, 180 agents at Arvida Sales after 1989. When I got there as a consultant, they asked me to take over the company. They went on to do 22% market share of Boca Raton, Florida. Does this stuff work? It works. I use this to build numerous ventures because I started this about when I first became a manager at 26 years old. I used this to build numerous ventures, a big management career, speaking business, consulting practice, an auction company, a brokerage company, a $35 million real estate portfolio. It's called a SMOST approach for planning. This is the actual one that I put together for my group as a sample in 1990. But it's a Word doc So you're going to be able to just go in here. So the situation, I like telling the story, a lion is hungry. That's his situation, right? Well, our lives are not as simple, right? So you've got to lay out and be really honest. That's why it takes 7 hours. If you will block 7 hours, and if you have a significant other or someone that is your spouse, your significant other, someone that's kind of your partner in life, say, hey, let's dedicate the next 7 hours. Let's just set a date. No phones, turn them off. I did that for a whole week of 3 days. Laptop gone, no phone. I couldn't go home. I had to stay in a hotel. And then I was there locked in 12, 13 hours a day for 3 days straight. That stuff is powerful. That stuff is powerful. Again, I couldn't believe the change. I said, I still have that much change left in me. Oh my gosh, God will ever get it. But you dedicate 7 hours for a new life. If I said to you, hey guys, if you give me 7 hours, I will make your life totally perfect where it's on autopilot. How many of you would donate 7 hours to me and sit here with me? But I can't sit here with all of you, but you can sit with yourself. And you go through this and you really honestly analyze your situation, okay? Then you're gonna laugh at somebody's about price range. So then your next thing is you're gonna say, hey honey, if you have a significant other, or you're gonna say to yourself, I talk to myself that way all day. Hey honey, I call myself Freddie. Hey Freddie, what is it you really want, man? What would really make you happy? Because I learned this child work 6 years ago. That's what saved my life. That inner child work, that mirror work, talking to the little child. So what is my real mission? What do I really have that I want to be able to create, co-create with my creator? What is it? What's my mission? Folks, you can't do this and scribble it down. First, picture in pictures. That's why you want to get the pictures up there. Then you come and you lay this down. And then you're going to then lay out what your mission is. Then you're going to come down. You got to have objectives. It's got to be tangible. Look at these numbers, by the way. So the lion is hungry. He wants dinner by 4 o'clock, and he wants one fat zebra. So that's his objective, okay? But what's your objective? And then you come from here, and then you start laying down what you would really like to see in advance. It's really interesting. I did this when I first got here in 1990. For 5-6 years, everyone did it so imperfectly. So I implemented it myself in 1997. And I accomplished all of it in 3 years, just about, or 4 years. First year out of the gate, leaving management, $35 million in production. Raised $4 million in my real estate company. All because I had something in writing. All because it was a plan for my life. By the year 2000, be able to work minimum hours in order to pursue personal and social interest on a full-time basis. That's what I had. By 2007, I had 1 more year. I was wrapping things up, turning it over to my son. And then all of a sudden 2008 came. God is good because he wasn't finished with me yet. He wasn't finished with what I contribute to the world and what I learned from the world and what I thought I knew. But I always thought it was about knowing. See, this is not about knowing. This is about seeing. That's from the Course in Miracles. God, please don't let me think I need to know anything. I don't need to know anything. I just need to see. It's about vision. It's about visioning your life. So your strategies. The lion is going to go patrol the south side of the jungle. You're going to do this. Then for the as you come down, you want to get specific. The reason I kept this is because jog your memory, what you really want. I have people that have been asking me about virtual assistants for 3 years and they still don't have one. I have people that I've talked to about workplace, putting a billboard behind their face so they can get referrals in the referral network. 5% of my folks, all 435 of them in our group, 5% have listened. Only 5%. Why? Because the ego wants to destroy you, my friend. The ego wants to destroy you. That's all in our charts. If you're new to this call, please study my ego soul chart. Please study why you've got to defeat that ego. Now, the lion, he says, how am I going to do this today? Well, I'm going to lay quietly behind the rock until they come to gaze at their favorite spot. You've got to be more specific. And then this is where you're going to go. Look at this price range. The reason that I did that way back then is because I taught people, everyone wanted to be in luxury real estate. I said, become a listing agent and you start your base with the lower price because not as many people are going after that. Today, that's 400,000 here. today. No, more than that. It's 500,000. This was kind of our base back then, our average sales price. Isn't that amazing? So you have a strategy. You're building a practice. Put a personal promotion ad, blah, 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 blah. Install Realtron in my home. Realtron, isn't it funny? I mean, that used to be a big deal to have to do that. The first 2 to 3 hours of the weekend. So this is all laid out for you in this document. So let me do this. I want to go back. And if you have other resources, please, on my email, type in SMOS. That's all I want you to type as a subject, because then I can sort by subject. If you have other resources, I'm going to enter it into my Google Docs folders. So, because with my resources, I have a Outlook contact called resources. Every time I come across someone, when Coach Curtis and Coach Debbie spoke, I don't know, the first time I ever heard them, I guess 2 years ago, whatever it was, Tom had them on for the first time, a year ago, whatever it was. I never, referred them. I didn't think about it, but I said, man, these are really giving people. I'm going to one day, I think I'm going to use them as a resource. I wrote it down as a resource. And sure enough, it's come around now. So come back and then share with me your other resources you have, please, for not only your sake, but for other, for the group's sake and for everybody that's going to be going to that Google Docs, because this is going to be going on that Facebook, the mastermind that I have on Facebook. So I really want us to pull together, because none of us are, there's many of you on here more effective than others of you, but none of us are more effective than all of us put together. And that's why this GPS group, our numbers for our group, the numbers in every real estate office in my marketplace is about 20%, about 18 to 20% of all the agents are productive in that branch office. Our office, we have about 240 local, 67%, because some of them are showing up for this. Some of them are building a business. So recap on the most important: a real estate practice mentality. Do not be concerned with the urgent, which is a sales practice, which are sales production. That's the urgent. Be consumed with building a business, which is the important. And the number one important thing in there is your database, your personal database, your sphere of influence. So that's the most important thing out of there. So with that, I'm going to have some time to open it up for discussion and sharing. And if you share, because hopefully we're going to have a lot more people, just keep in mind that if you see other hands, be brief and let's share or ask questions and of this most approach and business versus sales and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay with silence. Be still and know that I am God, the scriptures say.
Okay, I've got something for you. Danielle, new agent, relatively new. It's taken me a while to get up and running, but I'm here. So what would you say? I'm one of those people, super creative, can make anything happen, but the habits is what, like doing the same thing over and over again is what's getting in my way. What would you say to that?
I can tell you right now, once you do this SMOS approach, you're going to change your habit. The reason we don't conquer habit, well, no, we all have habits. They're either good or bad, right? We're habit creatures. And we love routine, right? Children that grow up with no routine, like me, end up in juvenile delinquent jails that I did from the time I was 11 till the time I was 16. I had no routine in my life. Okay. That's why a lot of people wind up in real estate jail. They don't have any same business. So what you have to do is commit to this SMOS plan. And then you share that with your loved ones, to people really close. You share it with your kids. Say, this is where mommy's life is visiting this family 3 years from the day, to your significant other. And I know your significant others in the real estate business. So I can tell you now, you just gotta commit to that. Because a lot of times we create these things and we only create the objective, what we want, and we put vision boards up. That's only the objective. And then we'll even go to the point of strategies, right? But what we don't do is time block and take the tactics. We don't put the You'll notice in there, I have a deadline for everything. And if you don't hit it, you definitely have got to go back and change the date. There's nothing wrong with changing it. You know, even deleting some, you say, well, it was important then, but not now. I live my life that way. So that's the answer right there. That's the answer. Get it in writing because, you know, in writing creates discipline, right? I have in my calendar every day. Do I hit it perfectly, my routine? No. But I got news for you. I hit it probably 90% more than 100% of the Americans. 45% or 55% obesity rate, whatever. So, you know, in writing, that's the key. Time blocking in writing. And if you dedicate, you and your significant other, Ben, right? No, not Ben. I'm thinking of the broker.
Brian.
Brian, thank you. I know it's close to be. Brian, you and Brian sit down. Seriously, have some watch your kids go away to a hotel. I don't know how many of you have ever experienced a thing called a marriage encounter that's put on by the Catholic Church. I went and took that even though I wasn't Catholic. It was a weekend. They took our TVs away. They took everything away. They locked us in this same group, blah, 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 blah. And it was the same thing as this 2 weekends ago, those experiences, the living course coming up in July. Well, you've been there, right? Haven't you been at the living course?
Yes. Uh-huh. I'm
Yeah.
the one who've done it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same thing. You need to lock yourself away. See, we will do it for other people because you wouldn't attend to that, but you do it for yourself now with this most approach. Watch what happens. Watch what happens, especially when you get you have children, right? You guys have two children?
No, we don't have kids.
Oh.
No.
I
But
get it.
yeah, I signed up for the grit training too. So I'm
Ah,
looking
there you
forward to that.
go. But if you take grit, right, and you don't have a SMOST approach to it, you'll get excited about the objectives. That's why people say, oh, that was really motivating. Oh, you really inspired me, because they get that pump up, right? Oh, objectives. I think I see something. It's going to happen. But and they may even say, I'm going to strategize, but then they don't go to the tactics. So that's our issue. That's our issue. And you'll develop those habits. I promise you.
Got it. Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, you all got the link. Joe, you want to put the PDF in there as well? We'll put the PDF. You don't need the PDF if you have the Google link. Oh, by the way, I forgot to do that. I wanted to see if you could take a picture of that QR code that I had up. Where was my QR code? Let me see if you can take a picture of this QR code.
I was able to, Fred.
Good. I want to make sure it worked. Did it get you right to the Google Docs?
It sure did, and I saved them.
Good.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So anyway, but it's the links in there to the Google Doc, and you have to download them because I don't want anyone modifying these docs. You download them to your computer, then you modify them. Thank you, Karen. Karen sent me a private message. I love it. Commitment. It's called commitment. Thank you. Yeah, in the subject line, SMOST, so I don't get, they don't get it. There's the link that Joe just put in again to the Google Docs. In Google Docs, if you have a problem with it, you just need to log into your Gmail and it's under, your G Drive, okay? Anyone else? Anybody? Open discussion? Speak up. Helpful? Any of you think that if you dedicated 7 hours to your life and laid out a real plan with all those, that it might make a difference? You think? Yeah, it will. I promise you. Stick to it. Stick to it. Okay, cool. All right, who's taking? Hey, Gina Smith. Gina Smith, what are you looking so serious? Look at that smile she has. She's looking so serious, wasn't she? Are you multitasking?
I'm just
Are you
listening.
Are you
You have-
multitasking?
Yeah, well, yes,
I know
working.
it.
I was
I
just
know it
looking
well.
up classes to take, more classes.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And again, the classes are great. You need them. But do it with SMOST in mind. You want to get the SMOST out of it.
I already have
Stop
my
the-
SRES.
That's senior real estate specialist, right? So
Yes.
that's fantastic. And when you do things, always let that word sink into your head. SMOST. Am I getting the SMOST out of my life? If I'm feeling depressed, I'm not getting the SMOST out of my life. I need to go inside. I need to figure out. So when you go to take a course, when you come to these meetings, get the SMOST out of them. Apply the situation. Will that fix my situation? Will that help me? But I need a mission, what I'm going to take away from the day. I need to make sure I have an objective, a strategy, and a tactic all in one. Okay? Super. Lydia, I love the green.
Thanks. It's from St. Patrick's Day.
Hey, there you go.
I'm feeling lucky.
There you go. Hey, you are lucky, laboring under correct knowledge. I know where your career is going. Fantastic. She's laboring under
Yeah.
correct knowledge. Luck.
Good stuff.
Hey, Kelly, what's up? Kelly sells Florida.
Oops.
Were you raising your hand? Okay, cool. All right, it's all yours, whoever, the after party, Tiff.